Days before his assassination, Abraham Lincoln had a dream so vivid, so chilling, that it foretold his own death. What he saw in that dream would play out almost exactly as he described it. Was it mere coincidence, or something beyond the veil? It was April of 1865, and the air around Washington was heavy with both relief and exhaustion. The Civil War was nearly over, and President Abraham Lincoln had begun to dream of peace. Peace for his torn country and perhaps, finally, for himself. Yet, in the quiet hours of night, sleep offered little comfort. Those close to him noticed that he often wandered the White House halls long after midnight, his tall frame ghostly in the dim light. Lincoln had been plagued by strange dreams before. He spoke of them openly, as though trying to make sense of what his waking mind could not interpret. But on one particular night, a dream came that would chill him to the bone. In the dream, Lincoln felt himself lifted from his bed, drifting down familiar corridors within the White House. Yet something was terribly wrong. The silence was thick and mournful. From somewhere distant came soft sobs, the sound of grief echoing through marble halls. He followed the sound, heart heavy with dread. He passed room after room, each one dimly lit, but empty of life. The echo of weeping grew louder as he reached the East Room. There, beneath towering windows and shimmering drapes, lay a coffin, surrounded by soldiers standing guard. Draped in mourning cloth, the body lay still and solemn, crowned with flowers. Lincoln's throat tightened. He turned to a nearby soldier and asked, "Who is dead in the White House?" The soldier's reply came like a thunderclap. "The President. He was killed by an assassin." A wave of grief swept through the dream, a cry of sorrow that seemed to come from all around him. Lincoln awoke with a start, his heart pounding. The image of the shrouded figure refused to fade. The next morning, Lincoln shared the dream with his wife, Mary Todd, and his close friend and bodyguard, Ward Hill Layman. He spoke quietly, almost reluctantly, as though the words themselves carried a curse. He admitted it felt unlike any other dream he'd ever had. Mary turned pale. Lincoln had always been a man of intuition, guided as much by conscience as by reason. The dream lingered over him like a shadow. Even his aides noticed how withdrawn he seemed, his usual humor dimmed by something unspoken. That week, he told others of another recurring dream, of being in a ship racing toward a dark, unknown shore. He said that every time he had that dream, great events soon followed. On the evening of April 14, 1865, Lincoln seemed oddly calm. The day had been bright and full of good news. General Lee's surrender, the nearing end of war. Friends urged him to rest and celebrate. That night, he accepted an invitation to Ford's Theatre to see a light-hearted play, Our American Cousin. Before leaving, he spoke gently to his bodyguard, saying, "Goodbye," instead of his usual, "good night." Perhaps a slip of the tongue, perhaps something else. Hours later, as laughter filled the theatre, a gunshot broke the air. The dream had become real. The president had been struck down by an assassin's bullet. Soldiers and weeping citizens filled the rooms of the White House once more, just as Lincoln had seen in his dream. In the days that followed, people recalled Lincoln's strange dream. His friend Layman swore that the president had described it exactly as it had happened. Skeptics dismissed it as coincidence. Others believed it to be divine warning, not to prevent death, but to prepare the soul. Whatever one chooses to believe, the story of Abraham Lincoln's final dream stands as a haunting reminder that sometimes fate whispers before it acts. Some hear the warning. Few understand it. Some dreams are merely fragments of thought. Others are messages. Lincoln's may have been both, a dream born of exhaustion and empathy, yet guided by something beyond human knowing. When silence grows heavy and the air feels charged with meaning, perhaps it's wise to listen. Like, share and follow Lanes and Lanterns for more true stories of guidance, fate, and divine intervention that remind us, sometimes the unseen world still speaks.